Global Sasson or Mama.
Veronica, it's fine
Yeah.
already.
Okay, thank you. It started already. So they're renewing, and they don't have to come.
Okay.
Okay, so today's date is September 20th. This is the meeting of the Economic Development Committee for CB 11. I am the chair, Veronica Castro.
Joanne Rubino, I'm the co-chair.
Fernando Pietri, committee board 11 member.
Very good. I'm Santiago, member.
Warren Jones, member.
Malcolm Gray, member.
Edward Perez, member.
Edgar Aguirre, member.
Ariel. Oh, there you are.
Ariel Hoffman, member.
Thank you.
And
So
Bernadette Ferrara, member and chair.
there you go. And these are the committee members sitting at the table. We have our guest Debbie Kowalik from the Community Board 11. She's also a board member. And
Simon Yale. I'm a resident of Elm Park.
You a guest. You're a
And-
guest. You're not supposed to.
then we have, you can
You
contribute.
guys can go through on.
Still support.
For the.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
You're very welcome.
And I'm his daughter, Dora Respirani. I'm also,
Because I
Part
speak
of
very
the-
little English, so.
That's
so
fine.
I'm
That's fine.
translator slash daughter.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
don't think we have minutes to review this time. We'll review any pending minutes at the
Okay.
next meeting, okay? So we're gonna move forward to our first one. Since they're here in person, I'm gonna bring up the hunting club representatives. So if you wouldn't mind, if you mind sitting over here, so if they have questions, they can ask.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna take down notes and stuff, so don't worry.
You're gonna do, we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk about it, yeah,
Yeah, thanks.
but I'll take
Sure.
this, yeah. That's it. We can't leave now. We're here until the
Early
morning.
tomorrow. Nobody.
Okay. So your company is the Hunting Club,
Yes,
and that's at 2503 Williamsbridge Road,
Yes,
right? And you're looking for a wine, beer, cider, and liquor license.
yes.
Okay. I had a question on the letter. In the letter, you said that you've been trying to obtain an LNO for 3 years. What exactly is an LNO?
So a letter of no objection from the Department of Building,
Department of Building.
from the POB, yes. And unfortunately, due to COVID, everything was delayed. And then we had started a project with an architect to support us to get the LNO. Unfortunately, he passed away. So then we had to move to another architect. And then it just took time. Unfortunately, due to COVID, apparently the file was moved from the Bronx to Queens for whatever reason, I don't know. It was just really weird. So until they found everything and everything. And then we had to file our permits. And from that point, we literally just got it. I think it was in June. I'm not mistaken. Yeah, in July.
Okay,
July 17th, and that's when we got the letter of no objection from the Department of Building that everything is within order.
okay.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a social club,
It's a members club only.
members club?
Yeah.
Okay, so as a members club, you supposed to have a list of the members,
yes.
and you have that with
Yes,
you?
I have it.
Okay,
I
perfect.
just thought, why not?
No, we were gonna ask for that, so thank you, that's great.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll give this to Chris in the community board, and he'll put it in with the
Yes.
file.
Mhm.
Thank you for this.
No problem.
It
was just a hunch, but luckily.
Yes, very good. One of the
Great.
things that we need from you would be the questionnaire that we usually have people fill out. I don't know if you had gotten that or not.
No, we don't.
Chris, can you forward that to them so they can fill it out?
I have only Nancy Hall's email.
Okay, so before you leave, if you could just give me the email that we should send it to, and I'll leave it for Chris, and that way he could send it to you. So we have a couple more questions. Has the premises been changed in any way? You said you got permits, so has it been changed?
No, so the previous president, before my father, he had apparently done something with the AC and the permit was not filed properly or something like that. I'm not too sure what happened before, and that's what we had to deal with. And that caused the LNO to be delayed because of the whole
Okay.
process. But then the permit was filed, everything was in order, an inspector came, saw everything was fine, from the DOB, I think, yes.
Okay.
And then they issued the LNO.
So the certificate of occupancy that we have on file is from 2017. Does that still apply now? Nothing's changed?
I don't know, what is the certificate of?
It basically says what the zoning is for the place, what it's being used for, and how many people can be in.
Should be the same. Should be
Okay,
the
so you
same.
haven't filed for a new
No,
C of O or
no,
anything?
no. And I don't know if you want the LNO,
If you have a copy, we can
Yeah,
put it in
put
there.
yeah. Just, probably best, also with the date of issue and everything. Also have alcoholic beverage control officer. So before the hunting club had a liquor license, and then the liquor license was transferred under my dad's name, and I think that was proof of it. However, it was done just a little bit before we had to renew it.
Okay,
But unfortunately, because it was a 3-year gap, I guess it appeared as a new license, but technically I don't think it's a new license. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure how it works.
okay, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
And how many egresses, ways out of the establishment do you have?
And so
I'm so
there's,
sorry, what's that?
there is
Over back door.
2, yes, the fire exit,
Okay, so you have one in the front and one in the back.
yeah,
Great,
fire
okay.
exit.
And the door opens, which way does it open? 'Cause
Out.
there's
The back door or the front door?
the front door.
The front door opens out, but there is like a little corridor that has the space to open out and not sort of onto the pavement. Yeah, onto the street.
So there will be no cooking there, right?
No,
And you
there's
have,
no kitchen.
I know, but there will have to be some
No.
kind of food because of like with the license.
There might be some light, so it's a members club and they can bring like light snacks or crisps or anything that biscuits, I don't know, whatever they feel like.
Whatever they bring in is
Yeah.
the food that they
Yeah,
use.
yeah,
Oh,
just
okay.
that, rather than that, no.
Chris, did the precinct get back to us yet about this establishment?
No, I just checked the email, nothing so far.
Okay. And will you be having cameras in your establishment?
We're thinking of installing cameras, well,
Mhm.
yeah.
Do you have exit sign and emergency light?
Yes, yes,
So you have 2 acres, you said.
yes. So one in the front and then the fire.
Mhm.
Super, looks good.
Okay, yeah. Does anyone else on the committee have any questions?
No security, nothing like that? No?
No.
I remember, I
Yeah,
remember.
he's pretty good with faces, so once, he knows
No,
that you're a member, that's it, nobody else gets in.
no, but I'm saying somebody at the door checking to see who the members are.
It's luckily like the coffee espresso machine is right next to the main entrance, so he can see
Okay,
whomever can come in. So he's the first point of contact with anyone who walks.
What is the hour,
Anyone have any questions?
what is the
No.
hour operation?
Malcolm?
Hours of operation,
Times?
so it starts
And
like
Joanne,
around.
do you have any questions? I'm sorry, you asked the question, and I'm talking over you.
Around 8, 9 a.m.
No, no, keep
Around
going.
8, 9 a.m. and then yeah, around same 8 to 9 p.m.
So it's only gonna be open
From
12 hours,
those
between
hours,
8 and
yeah,
9, and
practically.
closing at 9?
7 days?
Because also it's a coffee, they have coffee as well, so a lot of people,
Okay, and when do you
members
plan on,
wanna walk in, grab a coffee before they go to work.
and that's the time you plan on also serving liquor from 9 AM?
Oh, no,
8 a.m.?
liquor probably in the afternoon.
So around, starting around what time would they be able to purchase liquor?
Permission via Tara Ennis.
No, ma dite för vi går in. Tar ett tag för att gå in på en fredje.
Maybe after work around 4 or 5 p.m.
So they won't, you don't plan
No,
on
they
serving
don't
liquor
serve-
before
no,
that?
Before that, because obviously it's the morning, and then Saturday and Sunday earlier than that.
Okay, so that's Monday through Friday, and
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday, around what time do you think you start?
Tara, what's the one you record? Around 11, 12.
11, 12?
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday, okay.
Sunday it has to be after 12.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look at all, Bruno, whatever, look at them.
so we'll put Saturday 11, Sunday 12.
Yep.
Okay, and I'm sorry, did you have anything else, Sharna?
They're not cooking, so we can't go there.
Yeah,
Everything is on the computer already.
yeah, we're gonna get to that as soon as we finish.
So we're just saying at 25, so that's between,
Gosh.
Mace, Allerton and Mace?
Yeah.
Between,
It's, not far down from the dental office, that's right there, they're right next
Right
door.
next.
Yeah. Anything else?
no, that's.
I see them.
Do you have any questions for them?
It's not.
No? Okay. Mary, do you have any questions? No? Okay. Yeah, we usually don't take questions from the gallery, but during the gallery session, you're.
Here's a question from a member, Veronica.
Yes.
How do people become members
How, in
Yeah,
what sense?
in the club?
How do they become members?
Yeah.
Right.
Vänta, gillar att jag känner att över hunting club så vill
I see.
den där köttkött så vill
Yeah, so they're members of the sort of association that's then named the hunting club, INC, and then that's how it goes. But obviously they have to be above 21. We can't have anyone under that age for obviously legal purposes. Yeah. So they always, like, before they become a member, we have to see their ID and then they sort of get added to the list. So that we know who's who.
So the reason,
Question.
yeah,
So like, what are the requirements for the membership?
There are really not any strict requirements. Mainly, I think it's the age that's a problem. They can become like members, obviously, if they're under 21. Any other strict requirements? It's usually men.
Yes, I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's usually men.
If I wanted to
Right.
join.
Yeah, I think that's
That's another club.
it's not a really rule, like a strict rule, but it just appears that one person, I'm friends with you, I invite you over and you become like a member. It's not really, yeah.
so the reason they're coming before us today is they're looking to waive the 30-day notice that is usually given to the community board before they apply for liquor license. And they want to waive it because of the delay that they've had so far in the process of actually getting everything together.
Yeah.
So, based on everything that they've told us, they've been forthcoming with everything. I don't have a problem making a motion that we waive the 30 days, but you need to bring us back the application.
Okay.
Not the application, the
Questionnaire,
questionnaire.
absolutely.
Okay, so if you could get us the questionnaire by like Wednesday, not Wednesday, what's today? Today's.
It is Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday,
Next
by Friday.
Oh, Friday, yes.
So that way we have it on file week, and then when we go to the community board, our meeting is next Wednesday at 7:00. Our vote today is gonna be just a recommendation to the full board. The full board will then vote on it. And if it passes, then we'll send a letter to the SLA with our recommendation or our determination on waiving the 30-day.
Okay,
Okay, that's how it works, right, Chris? We have to send the SLA a letter saying we waived the 30 days.
No, we give the letter to the gentleman.
Okay,
Sends it over.
and you'll get a letter.
so do we need to come back next board meeting or?
No, Chris, you'll prepare it and they could pick it up from you, or,
So everything depends on how the voting is gonna go at the full board.
yeah, but if it does pass, would they have to come back to a meeting to pick it up, or would they come to the board office and pick it up?
To the board office.
Board office,
That's
okay?
fine.
So, right now,
So, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead,
I just need
please
to
explain it to
explain
him,
this
yeah.
like A little bit. He understands for the most part, but sometimes the technical words are a bit difficult.
That's okay.
Så att faktiskt se rekommendation för medlemsheter kan man plötsligt in questionnaire att there next week is the decision, right?
we're gonna make a vote tonight, and then the final decision will be
Final
next
decision
Wednesday.
next Wednesday.
You know, you're invited to come to that meeting,
Okay.
to speak or to hear
If-
good
if-
news.
If you guys want to
It
invite
It
us,
always helps, you
Yeah.
know? So we
Um,
do, we'll give you the information. It's next Wednesday. Where is it?
It's at Einstein
A little bit,
at
oh,
7:00.
7:00?
Yeah, if you wanna come to speak, you should come a little earlier so you can sign a gallery
Yeah,
slip.
sure, absolutely. If somebody could email us the information
Sure,
with
when,
the address and everything.
we send out the application to you, I'll ask Chris to put that in the email as
Please,
well.
thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
great.
Okay, so I make a recommendation that we waive the 30-day notice for the hunting club as long as we receive the application by Friday.
Pending, yeah.
Not application.
I'm sorry,
Questionnaire.
questionnaire. Do I
I'll
have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Joanne was faster. Okay,
Shroud
all
of
those in
witness.
favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
If you want.
Thank you.
I think, he needs to get back.
Yeah, get back to.
They just, they had to, yeah.
I closed the gate, we can't even.
Yeah, I gotta.
So,
Around the other way.
thank you for coming. You don't
Thank
have
you.
to stay. You're
Thank
welcome
you
to
for
go.
having us. I appreciate it.
Oh, the gallery, well, I think the
We
gallery.
don't usually take the gallery.
Oh,
And actually, we really shouldn't have done the motion now. So let me, what was your question? Because we're supposed to have the gallery session before we make the motions.
Is this the site where Bruxelles used to be?
No,
It's not.
No.
Okay.
that's on Allerton.
Okay. This is,
This is around the corner down Williamsbridge.
okay.
This is right off the corner from Mace Avenue.
Yes.
About 2 stores down, Prego Pizza. It's across the street from that place that was about to turn into a methadone clinic.
Oh,
Does anybody on WebEx have any questions for this particular restaurant, establishment? Nothing else. We'll come back to the gallery for anything else afterwards. No one? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did you have that email?
Yes, can you please give me your
Sure.
email address?
You want our,
Whichever is the best one to send the
I
application.
can, yeah, I can forward it to them.
And for the committee, from here on, we're gonna discuss the other matters, but before we do the motion, we're gonna follow procedure and let the gallery speak before we make any motion. That was my mistake. I should have waited. I went old school.
I'm so sorry.
right.
Okay, thank you again.
Thank you for
Enjoy the
having
rest
me.
of your night.
It's green card and ID for it?
No, we don't need that. Thank you though.
Thank you.
So it's GOSTURANIG at Yahoo. Okay,
No space, just.
No space?
just send it.
perfect. I'll
Thank
make
you.
sure we.
Thank
do
you.
it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very very
Thank you.
much. Have a good night.
Have a good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, my bag. The paper.
Relax.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Take care now. Thanks. Okay, so the next one?
So the next one is El Nuevo Sazon. The other two people, since no, these are renewals, and since they're renewals, they're not required, or we don't really ask them to come in. So El Sazon, get away, Bug.
Yeah.
That's at 2233 Boston Road. I went by there last night. It was very quiet. The establishment was very quiet. There wasn't much going on there, and there was nobody hanging out outside, which was a
Right.
good thing.
And I looked at the applications, the application stated if they're having music, it's recorded, and there's nothing on the outside, no chairs, no,
Right.
so everything is inside, so it's pretty, and it's not even liquor, it's just wine, beer, and cider.
Yeah, just wine, beer,
Oh.
and cider.
I have a question. Did anybody get, or I could ask Chris to any feedback from MIPC?
I was gonna ask.
We
Yeah.
reached out to, Chris reached out to NYPD, and he's still awaiting,
Who's
um,
waiting for-
he's still waiting for
zoning
feedback from them.
application.
They haven't answered yet. And Chris, we haven't had complaints on any of these establishments from the community, right? On
None
record.
whatsoever. I mean, these are repeats. I mean, I remember this El Sazon probably gotta be more than 10 years. The other one, Mama G, she's been more than 8 years, 9 years, and we never had any problems. It's like a family kind of a restaurant. Besides, it's no hard liquor over there. It's just, wine and beer.
Yeah, and El Nuevo Sazon is actually Steven's restaurant. That's on Boston Road. So this is the company name, but the,
No restaurant?
No, so I just Googled it, and it says Steven's Restaurant.
Oh,
It says it on the application.
I'm blind.
one is a new.
One's restaurant's in it.
Yeah, So does anybody have any other questions about the establishment? We haven't had problems. They've come up before us for renewals and they've never had any issues before. I mean, I can't speak from now until the last time, but they've never had any issues with the 4-9 precinct. So I feel comfortable voting on it later today,
Yes,
unless somebody feels that they want to wait until the 4-9 response.
Go for it. I'll make a,
We're gonna do the motions afterwards.
We're gonna
after we-
do-
yeah, after the
anybody
gallery
wants to speak
session,
in the
if
gallery
somebody
session.
else
okay.
wants to speak regarding this. Okay, any other questions for anyone?
you know, we could say in the motion pending 49, just so we can make the motion, pending for a report from the, a good report from 49 precinct,
We're at the next meeting,
you
right?
know?
Yeah, we could do that.
And then we could, it would still pass. And then hopefully we'll get
And we
no,
should have an answer before the full board meeting, so if you
Yeah.
can remember that language, because I may forget when it's
All
time
right.
to do the motions.
okay.
Okay. And the second one for a renewal is Mama G African Kitchen 2. They're at 1322A East Gun Hill Road, and we went by there last night. I kidnapped Debbie and we went by the establishment. And again, it was quiet, there wasn't much going on inside. It is a restaurant, yeah. But it's a small restaurant, it's, you know.
a block down from Next Pizza.
Yeah.
And this is what, for just beer and wine or? this is
Yes.
beer?
There's a wine, beer and cider, no
One
liquor.
beer
Because
cider.
Same thing as the other
I
one.
don't-
No, wait. Oh, no, yeah. they're
Yeah, both of the renewals are
Also-
just wine, beer and cider. So again, it was quiet, there wasn't much going on, there was no one hanging out in front of it, so it looked like it's a quiet place.
Uh-huh.
Chris, you said no complaints from the community on this one either, right?
None whatsoever. Very nice, little small restaurant. And,
Yeah.
and the owners have done a great job over there, the management.
Yeah, and again, they've come before us before for renewals, we haven't had problems with them in the past. We could put the same stipulation in our motion to wait, pending 49 precinct positive recommendation. So does anybody have any questions?
Does
No.
anybody, how about the gallery? Is
Yeah, we're
anybody
gonna
speak?
go to the gallery in a minute. as soon as
Now
we
with the
finish
gallery, we limited to speaking about these three or any other?
No, when we do the gallery, they can speak on whatever they want. If they give us any feedback on any of these locations, we'll take a note. And then after the gallery session, we'll make the motions.
Okay.
Okay, so if the committee doesn't have, Debbie, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, so the committee doesn't have any more questions. Bernadette, are we good?
No, you know, I'll speak up. Questions.
Okay, so we're gonna move now to the gallery session. So does anyone in the gallery want to speak tonight? So we have Cynthia Rodriguez. Cindy, do you have anything to say tonight for the committee?
No, I just want to say hi to everyone. Nice to see a nice full room with all the new committee members. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Stacy Ann, do you have anything you'd like to say?
No, not really. Just, I'm on trying to learn.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, Roger, do you have anything you'd like to address to the committee?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
And Angel, do you have anything?
No, I'm good. I appreciate you. How's everybody? Good meeting.
Thank you. All right, and Chris, do you have anything you want to bring to the committee's attention before we vote?
No, welcome the new board members.
Thank you.
That's about it. And hey, let's see what's gonna happen during the month. But I'm gonna give a call to the lieutenant operations. You gotta understand, sometimes they're busy because lieutenant operation deals with everything. So basically, liquor license is one of the, I should say, at the end of the totem pole when it comes about dealing with these kind of things. If it happens that it's no issues with the establishment. But if it's no issue with establishment, basically, if I call him, he's gonna say, "Oh, Chris, no, don't worry about it. Everything's fine. Keep going." So
Okay.
otherwise, he would have responded already if any issues have occurred at his establishments.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
Yep.
All right,
I just want to say that sometimes we have a lot of establishment comes stay late in the night.
yeah,
Thank God we have done 3 tonight.
Yeah. He's doing
And I
it
just want to say
by,
welcome the new chairman. Too.
Yes.
Yes.
Welcome, everybody.
this is a good night. We only have 3. Sometimes we do have many more because depending on the month. So just so you know, on the committee, we may stay here to 9:30, depending on how many there are, how many new ones, any issues that come up. So just FYI on that. Tonight's a good night.
Tonight.
And I hope the rest of them are the same
This
way,
is a good
but.
training wheel.
And the other problem that sometimes we encounter is there is a problematic business who's causing issues, and sometimes if they show up, it could be a so
Right.
there could be, this is like what?
Yeah, this
This tonight was really, really.
Yeah, there was one that was a bodega trying to.
No, it wasn't 1 o'clock, but it was late.
The bodega, that was.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
So let's do the motions. Who wants to?
Who are you?
Oh,
See if there's any questions.
Oh, my name is Edward Perez.
Oh, that's a
Edward
new, right?
Perez.
Any question?
No question.
No, I just want to know you.
Okay, and then we have anyone here?
Any question?
One,
No.
and Mary. Okay.
I have one question. I know there's a lot of discussion about liquor. I was at Marcus Garvey Park in Harlem, and they had a stand of people selling marijuana infused cocktails.
Oh, God.
Now, they're thinking of building a consumption dispensary on 125th Street. So this thing is big, right?
We don't cover Marcus Garvey Park.
I know,
Oh.
but I'm just saying, could the liquor stores or any of the legal weed shops sell that kind of thing? A marijuana infused cocktail? Well, that's.
Bronx currently only has one legal weed shop.
Right.
It's a good question.
No,
Good
that,
question.
what, that's not open yet.
It is.
Marijuana is legal up to. 3
The
ounces.
legal one.
It is in,
Yeah.
it is in process that there are other licenses being considered in the Bronx. I'll open up with the next few.
Right,
months
they're
here.
in a holding pattern right now.
But as they're opening the legal ones, OCM is cracking down a lot. Just recently, Assemblyman Johnson Carl went through Allenton,
I saw that.
hit a lot of them. So if that is an issue, as the legal ones open, it will be a lot more enforcement to crack down on getting the legal ones out of here.
See, but this is a very good thing because this is mixing alcohol, which is SLA, and, a license, like 2 licenses together.
Right.
So that's a really good. But
Right.
he's selling cocktails out in the street.
Right.
Not
That's
no.
And then in Industry
There's no-
City, I saw the same.
There's no
Well,
outside
his
consumption
question-
of alcohol.
His
That's
question-
totally illegal.
His question was if the legal
Right.
marijuana establishments would be able to sell something like that.
Or even a liquor
The other thing though,
store.
if it's THC infused, they don't need a
And-
license for that, versus if it's THC infused, they would need a license for
Yeah.
that. So it also depends, like, what are they,
Right.
like, just because there's so many different like, if it's CBD, you don't need a license for that.
That-
No, it's THC. in there.
Yeah, and I think
That's,
You
we
need-
don't have any guidelines on anything like that at the moment that we could actually give an educated answer on it, but like Bernadette mentioned, that kind of falls under 2 different departments. So that's something that if, like Malcolm said, there's different things coming up, different licenses and stuff like that, so that might be in their purview. It may not, but unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to give you, an exact answer to it because we don't know.
Right.
I think, glad you brought it up, I think this is a question definitely for our state assemblymen. This is a very,
Deal with
very
the sheriff.
important point. And ask the sheriff if they've already already come up with.
Oh, this would have been great last night.
I know. I wasn't able, I would have been there.
Question raised tonight, so.
So let's do the motions and then we'll get to we did the old business.
And then we do.
Wait, things are happening now, it's all over.
Yeah. So we could do one motion for both establishments unless anybody has an issue with any of the establishments.
Normally, that's how. we do it,
Okay,
Right.
so who wants to do the motion?
Make a motion, John.
Oh, I gotta think. I'd like to make a motion to send a letter of no objection for, with the stipulation that we get a positive, report from the 49 precinct for El Nuevo Sazon at 2233 Boston Road and Mama G African Kitchen
My
at
second.
1322 East Glen Hill Road.
So I second it.
Okay.
So the second.
Yeah,
Any
open for discussion.
discussion?
Anybody have anything this? On it? No? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any objections? Any abstentions? Okay, motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Let me just make my note. For Joanne. And Shrek.
You know, before the meeting adjourns is to, give maybe an example of in the past, how, like a difficult where you had to go on premise, you had to check, you know, the distance from this, maybe one situation where.
We had that issue last time with Joe, and he was told that we don't have to do that, but going to see the establishment is what they did, was something that we can do, but we can't deny or, you know, 'cause we had an issue with that where we were saying the egress, this, that, and the other thing. We really can't make that judgment, but like, we used to get really into it. like,
Well,
the-
there was,
can't you?
because that's,
Yeah.
that is part of the Department of Buildings purview. That's not ours. That's not something that the SLA necessarily would be looking into when they make their judgment. We did it to make sure that the establishment was safe and everything, but we technically can't base our decision on anything like that.
Right.
Because that's Department of Building. Am I stating that correctly, Chris?
You're saying it correctly because you just heard from the lady that was on the premises that about the hunting club. They'll give an NLO, LNO, I think.
Yeah, LNO, letter of non.
LNO. So until everything is approved by the buildings, believe me, it's very tough for them to obtain any kind of liquor license.
Right, so basically anything that we may be asking them that falls under the Department of Buildings purview, they've already asked them and approved them with with the letter.
Right.
So that's why I don't have a problem with us asking them if, you know, it's something that we want to ask them, but we just have to be careful that we don't base our decision on that.
Right.
We base it on stuff that falls under the state liquor authority.
Especially new people who haven't had a business before, we're giving them advice, basically.
Right.
You know.
So we could advise them that, oh, you have, you know, you should get a push bar on that door or something like that, but we can't say until you get a push bar, we're not gonna approve.
Right.
We can't do that. We can give them advice to try and help them to make sure that their establishment is up to what it should be, but we can't base those issues or those matters on our decision. Okay, but we can definitely ask the questions if you want to.
So also, you gotta understand, guys, especially the new board members, this is an advisory board.
Yeah.
We just give them an advice and then we just recommendation being given by the full board after that to the liquor license. It has happened in many occasions that probably the board said no for approval and SLA has approved it.
Yes.
Also, you gotta understand, some of the 30 days notifications that are done to the community board, it's the only legal thing that is required by an establishment when it comes to obtain liquor licenses. That's the only thing that they have to do, meaning that they have to notify us 30 days in advance. Now, it's a courtesy when we call them and say that, you know, you have to come to the meeting. It's a courtesy on their side to come and show up for the meeting, but they don't have to. Legally, they don't have to. So at
You
least you can be
give
aware
it
of.
your application, they don't have to come.
They don't have to.
No.
Garbage.
They don't have, legally, they don't have to come.
Yeah, we always ask the new ones to please make an appearance, so that way if we have questions, we can ask them. But just because they don't come is not a reason for us not to send a letter of non-ejection.
It'd be nice if they come. though.
Yes, it would be nice, and we
Usually do.
encourage them to come.
Yeah, some of
They
them.
usually do, and sometimes, you know, that they have to take care of their business. And
Yeah.
they can't.
Sometimes if they don't come and there's still a time where we, that falls within our next meeting, we may table it and ask them one more time to come in person. But sometimes we don't have that window. Sometimes it's too close and by the time we come to our next economic development meeting, it'll be past the window for them to do it. So then we have to make a decision without their presence.
Right, the biggest thing, I think, is the precinct and what they tell us,
Right.
like, there was, and sometimes it's, like, sometimes there was a shooting at one of the establishments, but then they changed hands. So a lot of people in the community were saying, well, there was a shooting there, so yeah, but these are different people. So there's a lot of things to iron out, you know, and sometimes these are people who have troublesome people who have had a business before that was a problem, and then they changed their name or they made their wife do, you know, there's all these kind of things that you have to unravel.
A few months back, we had the bodega that wanted to start selling liquor, remember?
Yeah,
And
Right next to the library.
in the back, yeah.
was it right next to the library?
Right next to the library.
And a lot of feedback that we get from the community is important because there were people that witnessed stuff that happened there. They were opposed to it because we also take into consideration the community. They see stuff that happens that maybe we don't see. So if we hear about things happening, then we can take that into consideration when we make our.
And that,
And that particular one,
Did they get the liquor?
Zaparo actually,
I don't think so.
Zaparo
We
lives
sent a
across
letter
the
of
street
objection.
from there, and he was totally against it.
Oh.
Yeah,
right, but also, sometimes when, you know, we go to the board they make the final decision, sometimes in the gallery. Well, you know what happened at this site and blah, blah, and they'll know more information than us, and then at those times we could table it.
I think somebody did say something from the gallery that day.
Yeah. yeah, we had. it
So
was-
now we didn't know,
Right.
and so that's very important for people to come.
Yeah, it is. So that's why we have this meeting and then we have the full board meeting. Because there may be full board members that have information that didn't make it to this meeting and they could give us, and that'll change the determination at that point, you know, but that's what we do here.
Also, you know, Jeremy sends out all the information for each establishment. I encourage you to read those. They're kind of hard to, I've been reading them on my phone, but I encourage you all
You
to
wanna see
read
something,
those,
when I have time, I.
you know? And educate yourself on what exactly they're asking, and this way you come to the meeting more prepared, you feel more comfortable. So,
Angel, you have your hand raised. Did you have something you wanted to say?
Just a quick question, because I'm learning like a lot of us are. So you explained to me, or you explained to the group, the purview of the Department of Buildings. I'm familiar with, So what is it that we look for as a community board when we go? What do we like? I heard a lot of ruckus outside. I heard that, but like, what are things that we're looking for? If you can kind of give me an idea of that.
So when there's well, for this particular person that came in, the members club, it doesn't pertain to them, but for most establishments, there should be food of some sort that is going to be given out there. What else do we look for? We look for
Exhaust system.
the exhaust system. If they're going to be cooking food, we ask them about the exhaust system. We ask for security, how they're going to be making identification of legal aged patrons. So they need to know if, we want to know how they're going to regulate that. We ask if there's going to be cameras in case there's any kind of event that happens due to over drinking or anything like that, we want to know if that's an option.
Exit and emergency sign.
Yeah, exit and emergency signs. You've heard about the clubs in the past that had that,
Happy Land?
Happy Land, where that terrible mishap happened there. So we try and see about that. But again, that's also part of Department of Buildings, but we try and ask those questions just so, we can make sure that the establishment themselves, has what they need to be safe. Okay, and then we, like Joanne said, importantly, we asked the 49 precinct because any kind of complaints or anything that would have come in, they would know and they would advise us on it, and we would have an idea of it happen in front of the establishment or because of the establishment or anything like that.
Thank you guys very, very much. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay. Do we have any old
If you
business?
have a member, like if you have a members club, like the one that came before us, do we want to know what their criteria is for membership? And what if they have a criteria that doesn't allow for, say, women? I think someone alluded to that, to join the club or something like that. Is that something that we
I
concern
don't-
ourselves with, or we don't?
I
No,
don't
but
think,
clubs like that usually it's men, all those clubs usually men's.
yeah, it's,
women one.
it's an Albanian club basically, so they should be like the men.
Exactly.
Just
there you
hang
go.
out together.
Coaching.
Right.
No, sometimes like, yeah, it's some like Italian, Spanish club, they have their own clubs and usually it's just the men that hang out there. They sit, smoke
Have
cigars.
espresso
And coffee.
Yeah.
in there. I've just gone in and say hello.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll allow you in.
Well,
Yeah, and they won't stop you from going in, but there are already people that hang out
well,
there.
let me explain when it comes to social clubs. Guys, it's members only. When it's members only, nobody from public can be inside. If SLA goes in or the police goes in, because the members list has to be posted somewhere visible. And if the police goes in or the SLA goes in and says, for example, Chris, what's your last name, Sergeant Sash? Let me see your ID. You've got to show the ID. They're going to check it out with the members list.
This has to be posted on the
If
wall.
you're not in the members, if you're not in the members list, they're going to get a fine. But when it comes to whatever they do in their social club, it's not our business.
Right.
Understood.
Yeah, they don't have to tell us what they're doing, that's not part of our.
That's why it's called social club, because it's members only. If it's public, then it's a different story.
Right, and they'll, I mean, if there's any kind of gambling or anything like that, that's illegal, that's something that the 49 precinct would go in and evaluate, and the SLA will make stops in there sometimes, or the precinct will make stop in there sometimes to make sure that everything's going the way it's supposed to be going.
I was just about to say, if people that are not members are not allowed in there, how is anybody gonna know something
It can be
illegal?
reported, that's all.
Yeah, cause let me,
See, in
I
the
doubt a
past,
member would snitch.
no,
There's
but
somebody that's not a
it's the hunting club and they have the gate
oh,
open,
them know, they'll
gate
know.
down, but the door.
No, I'm
open.
saying, how would law enforcement know
Or be a
if
member.
gambling was going on?
They have to
If
get
it's
it
on-
there.
Yeah,
Like
What
anything
happened
else.
was
Yeah,
before, we
those
used to
clubs
have-
are real tight and they're not gonna distance.
But sometimes they do operations, you got to understand, in all establishments, especially on the public ones, that's more important. They just bring from, for example, from PAL, which is the Police Academy League, they bring like one of the cadets over there that looks like it's older in age, but actually it's less than 21. They just bring it in there. If they're not asked for an ID and liquor is served, right then and there, the police gets in, either gives a fine and SLA is notified, and it's up to SLA. If you are many times doing the same thing, then probably they can shut you down.
yeah.
See, before, we used to have the 49 precinct officer used to come here and give us an update on all this establishment. I think one of the establishments was doing casino and gambling in there. I think it's the same one, the old one.
Hickory,
I think so.
maybe.
So
But-
if we
yeah.
know that there's an issue,
Yeah, well, the
like, we get a
49
complaint,
precinct letters-
then we contact 49 precinct to come and talk to us.
Yeah.
You know.
Like
so we
Chris
do
said,
that.
they do operations and stuff like that. When I mentioned
we
that the
just-
hunting club had their gate down, that's because they're working in there right now. They're not, I don't believe they're actually,
They didn't start.
Yeah.
selling that.
so, but, yeah. So I think that's it. Do we have any new business? to bring to
I
you?
have old.
You have old?
Okay, as a private citizen, I heard through the grapevine that the person who is trying to open that dispensary on Williamsbridge Road, yeah,
This would be you.
okay, I'm sorry, on that there was some issue between councilperson Velasquez and this person. So I said, okay, this is, as a private citizen, I wrote a letter. I asked Jeremy, I said, who could I write this letter to? To say that there is a problem because there is a house of worship there across the street. There's 2 houses of worship. And there's a school with the schoolyard, even though the letter of the law says that's park property. The spirit of the law is that there's children there. So I wrote this big long letter. I sent you a
I saw
copy,
it,
you a
yes.
copy, right? So I haven't heard anything back from Jackie. So maybe to follow up, because I think that's something that has to be addressed.
Okay.
Since
I
we
think
are,
we did send a letter to somebody.
They did.
and I sent it as a private citizen because it was the summer. But
Can we have a
Yeah.
feedback from that letter if they reply back to it?
Chris, do you know if they've replied back to the letter we sent out? This is the letter to the OCM.
Yeah.
We sent it to everybody to respond. OCM basically kind of ignored whatever, but even OCM at this moment doesn't know what they're doing. It's such a confusion over there for everything.
It's a $1 million business, so.
Hold on.
what I suggest, Joanne, don't send the letter to the councilwoman, send it to the
To Jackie,
Zacaro State Assembly.
I
Because
will do, because
this
I
is-
think he's going with the sheriff. Okay,
This is a state issue. It's not a city issue.
okay. But they were having some interaction, so I thought perhaps there was something there since she's a council person. But I'm gonna cut and paste and forward that letter to John Zacaro. Thank
I
you.
just have a question. I mean, are you against the nature of the business or the business itself or the location?
The
that they-
location, we're
Okay.
objecting to the location. It's just not good.
Yeah, it's too close to the children.
Basically gonna do whatever they want anyway.
Well,
That'll
Gonna be more
It's a
of a-
content of them, they never try us, so we don't know what's going on.
At least they could reply to us.
I think right now they basically don't have, I don't know if it's updated, they physically don't have their license in their hand.
Yeah, so they can't.
So that they can't, start setting up everything inside. So then, I don't know what today's update is, but that was.
But they were saying they were gonna set up license or not,
Yeah,
because they passed their inspection of stuff.
But they can't.
Yeah, but they have
Every other place has opened up.
man, they're gonna give them a license. It's a
They
shame,
got it,
it's
but
a
they don't
shame,
have it.
it's a shame, they're gonna give them a license.
Well, the thing is that on the application now, I don't recall, but I think on the application, they did not say that there was a house of worship across the
Well,
street.
that the house of worship is not really a registered house of worship. It's so I looked into that.
Oh,
It's not
okay,
registered.
good to know.
So the fly by night thing,
Huh?
like no name, nothing.
Well, it's been there for a long time, but it's not a registered one.
Yeah.
All right, in the business.
Okay, do we have any new business?
Oh, yes. Because of City of Yes, I know that, a few of us did go to the informational parade. I think that as a committee, we should definitely bring it up as like a workshop or invite DCP to explain it to us, so we can invite the community members to interact with it.
Yes.
Because like, there's so many changes in regards to zoning, in regards to housing, in regards to, new opportunities for small business owners to operate. We should definitely, get a more intimate session.
Yeah, I do want to invite them. We had spoken over the summer about that. I still do want to invite them to one of our meetings. City of Yes, so there's new things coming up, new types of zoning. What was the one thing that you had mentioned to me? That you definitely fell into economic development?
The zoning changes for the small businesses.
Yes, zoning changes for the small businesses. So we can have somebody come in and do a presentation. I'm gonna reach out to them. Yeah,
Oh,
just
yeah.
wanna try and see. I wanted to sit down with Chris and find out when we may have a short one, like this would have been a good one to do it because we didn't have too many. I don't wanna bring them in on a day where we have 6 or 7 licenses and then we're here until 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
Okay, so I'll sit down with Chris and see if we have an idea, cause of when would be a good month, and then I'll reach out to them and try and get them here.
Because another one of the changes, because I know they're getting rid of the cabaret laws. So they wanted to allow, a lot of the businesses will allow dancing.
Right.
And, dancing with the liquor, that's something that we should definitely.
Yeah.
That's also the materials for the presentation, if they could be provided in other languages, because a lot of the business owners, maybe they, they're from,
We can ask
Louisiana,
Have it.
Spanish.
Yeah.
So if they had other languages, that would be beneficial too, to spread the word.
No, they don't enforce that law anymore. That law, the cabaret.
Now, the cabaret license went away a while.
That's what we're long.
And everything and
To my
everything.
understanding, the cabaret license was
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, noise.
since when the De Blasio was the mayor. So since then, the cabaret license no longer is necessary.
Yeah.
So that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, we had to stop asking questions related to the cabaret license before the pandemic even happened. It's going back to the Blasio, the license has been pretty much, cabaret license has been gone for a while. But yeah, that's definitely something that I want to do. So thank you for bringing it up, Malcolm. I appreciate it. Is there anything else?
So, small business, I don't know if the committee thought about asking Mark Jonai to come. He's like the small business person for the city, right?
No,
No,
no.
Or, no,
The last was.
Mark Jonai is no longer a councilman.
no longer. So can we get the person who took over to come here?
I don't know if the current council person is that much behind small businesses, but we can ask.
Plus, I've noticed some businesses going out of business here and with the interest rate hikes and threat of a recession, it's probably gonna increase.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, but then the boss for,
Ties into the city of yes.
yeah, but then the boss for president announced something for small
That's something
business.
also for the Morris.
She did.
Yeah.
She did. The
The borough president just announced some money for small business.
Yeah, so the borough
They're in
president
trouble.
found about $20 million.
Exactly.
Found, it was literally
Found.
found. It was literally found. I guess it was like, a lot of expiring appropriations that we had. So she found $20 million to launch the new BOEDC loan.
Was it under the Blasier's pillow?
What they have to do is apply for it.
I mean, it was tracking to the 90s, so maybe Giuliani.
Okay,
Just an understanding with the, with the Morris Park bid and all the businesses. The price, it's, that kind of information should also go to them also, because, but they can't dictate what business, they can try to attract different businesses. But the ultimate decision is the property owners.
But-
So that's.
Well,
But
now,
one of the things,
as far as the landlord
Right.
stuff, they can't knowingly rent to an illegal smoke shop now.
No, but there's a bill that's being passed with regards to that.
It's already passed.
yeah, but part of
Yes,
it,
okay.
too, the bids, for example, last week at my job, one of the property owners reached out to us and asked us, we have a new leasing looking to take one of our bigger properties and transform it into a shelter for migrants. And they asked us, do we think this would be a good attraction for this area? And we told them no. We already have a shelter that was open 2 blocks down. It just wouldn't bring in what we wanted to bring in. They asked us, what would you want to see? And we said a gym, right? So like if you have the relationships there, you could definitely influence it in type of way. But it's also in regards to city of yes, to the housing, the prices, stuff like that. The zoning changes also opens up new opportunities, which eliminates all that competition and allows more people to flow into the market itself. So that also should bring down prices for us.
I have something I just thought of. I don't know if it's new or old business, but we had a discussion about the White Plains bid, which is basically non-functional. Has anything happened with that? Did anybody get back to,
No,
remember that?
No, they're missing.
They're missing, MIA.
Yeah.
So,
I think our former chairman was encouraging all of us, to go to one of these meeting, the bids meeting.
but they don't have, they
have
don't do anything.
Oh, they
They
don't?
The
don't-
White Plains bid is basically,
I think
it
since
kind of
Joe
fell
was
apart,
ahead.
yeah.
Because Diana.
and it
Yeah, that's,
it
she's
looks
not-
like a war zone over there.
yeah.
It's a war zone.
I think was it Filippo is the president of this area?
They don't answer our
Yeah,
calls, they don't,
Yeah.
anything.
it's
They even ditched the calls from Marjorie Velasquez's office.
100%. But part of the issue is that that's a small bit. So their funding is like one of the lowest budgets in the Bronx, regardless. So they really don't have much funding to do anything. But it does need a revamp.
Yeah.
I was gonna say one thing about White Plains. I live off of Lighting. Close to that area, and there's a lot of graffiti that showed up,
That's what I'm saying, it looks like a
Yeah.
war zone.
like with the pandemic maybe. Was it there before?
No, the graffiti, I've been that area 20-some years. The graffiti's been there, but yes, the graffiti got out of control in the pandemic.
Who takes care of that?
That's what we're saying, the bid doesn't do anything.
So who's
I-
like the fire under the bid? to
Well,
see-
I did walk it. I did walk it for July 4th, and I submitted out on the request to the Carl's office, and they got rid of it. And then like 2 days later,
It's
right
back.
So
I mean, at the very least, they could remove the graffiti from the
Well,
business.
if we could find them, they could remove it. That's the problem.
I'll put down that we'll try and reach out and see if there's anyone that we could get in touch with for White Plains bid and maybe have a sit down with them and
So the
see.
bid gets
what
paid
they
money
need to
for all the
get
shop
started on.
owners?
Yeah.
For that.
And they also get,
Federal
city
funding.
funding, no, city funding.
Oh,
It's
Well,
a city funding. In fact, the
Oh.
bid person who's in charge of the bid is a city employee.
Well, no, it was.
Isn't
They're not-
Cornelius a city
No,
employee?
they're not a city employee per se. The
It's like a nonprofit.
Yes,
kind of-
nonprofit.
Yeah, they're nonprofit. and
There's
she
a tax
pays.
assessment from all the properties in the bid that goes into the bids fund. And then usually what happens, mine's a little different, but for like Morris Parkway, for example, the salaries will come out of that fund too. And they'll operate with that fund, with that funding. And then, but usually a lot of bids have grant writers where they will apply for city funding and bring that city funding into the bid for specific purposes. So, I mean, for example, they could apply, White Plains Road can apply for the small bid grant, which is about 100K, and they could use that to do certain things of that.
So they're not applying for grants, so that means there, nothing's happening. Maybe the controller can look into this,
100%.
you know?
So if the stores
for
are
Atlanta,
getting
right?
hit with the tax, are they still getting salaries if nobody's doing anything with that bid?
That's
Oh,
what
no,
I'm
somebody's
saying.
getting a salary and not doing.
What I
That's what I'm saying, that's an
recommend,
issue.
what I think it's possible to do, the BP usually has a rep in the bid board, right? I know the one that I talk to mostly is Marshall Strawbridge. We could reach out to him, could
Yeah.
bring him in here to have a discussion on that, because they usually have somebody that's really, you know, watching over that bid and understanding what they're doing, so he may be somebody to speak to.
Okay, if
I know our
if you want to
councilman,
reach out to him, or if you want to send me the info to reach out to him.
Councilwoman.
councilman first, Mark Jonah,
Ah.
we used to reach out to him and he get a job done. I
Right,
mean, it's a Saturday and Sunday we go, but I don't know our councilwoman now.
She's busy.
I don't
She's
think
right?
that it works the same way, that's a good.
I think you should work the way Mark Jonah used to do it. You know?
No,
No, I like the way she takes pictures of places that are not even dirty. Oh, we cleaned up, but you gotta go to the other side of the Bronx with a mess. Take pictures there, but I guess not. And I comment on those pictures, so.
I mean, if you see it in Morris Park, you know, Morris Park Association should get involved, like Van is getting involved with the wall, your transit there, and we get them to clean it up.
Yeah.
I mean, which is, look.
I know Pelham Parkway Neighborhood Association has talked it up the wazoo about getting White Plains Road cleaned up. Still, it's crickets from anybody that will do anything.
For instance, the Coronation Wall down White Plains Road there. Oh man, I drive there this morning. You know, the paint the wall, you can't, everybody graffiti in.
Yep.
But I think we need to reach out to Coronation about that.
all right.
Who owns the property?
But that's not.
Which,
The property where the graffiti is.
which,
I don't know if it's on the house.
if it's the stores, it's.
No, the one that they were just talking
Yeah.
about.
Con Edison.
Oh, and we can't reach out to them?
And we,
They'll-
I know,
uh,
but then I don't know if this department, economic development, reach out to that or over housing or I don't know which department do that.
I know Saturday. I also work at a print shop. Last summer, I painted, we was sprucing up the store, painted the wall, looks nice. Somewhere between Friday night and Saturday, somebody graffitied it. I'll show you after. That by 8 o'clock, by 8 a.m. Saturday, I already took care of that. Because
If you keep taking care of it, they won't.
if you just,
Yeah, but
if you have somebody just take care of it, you know, you don't give the graffiti people that time of day. But the White Plains bid, it has been neglecting,
Maybe over
you
there.
know.
Because the chicken farm here, the people right, and I told them they gotta take it, they do it right away.
Yeah.
See it.
Yeah,
Oh, you're talking about that big wall by the chicken, that stretches all the way. to
All the way down,
The
Venice.
180th, right?
Yeah, all of it.
Okay, now I get it now. Yeah, it is, that's in that.
Yeah, there was
It's free, it's
another
very free.
establishment around the corner from the printing place that got hit with graffiti. It was like a week or two prior.
And then the precinct there too.
They hit it right away, you know, they covered it up. If you have somebody to be on top of it and cover it up, you're not giving the graffiti people the time of day.
One of that, can we write Connecticut?
And it's dark too,
I don't know.
With the MTA wall,
No, the Connecticut wall, the one by Union Fort Road, going up to the Blue Bridge.
Union Port Road up,
On White Plains Road by going,
by Con Ed.
by
Yeah,
Con Ed.
by Con Ed. They took care of it.
No, look at it now.
No, they literally, I mean, I drive my car past there like almost every day or every other day. And they're on it like the next day, whoever from Con Ed has the right color paint and they do it.
Not
They
now.
take care
For
of
the last 4 weeks.
But it gets really bad, really fast. I mean, it's like, I mean, I wish they had cameras there to basically see what time of day, et cetera, and then
Is it-
try to get, try to tell the officers that are on 12 to 7, hey, this is happening at 2 a.m. and blah, 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 and can you, not have a bait, they're not gonna stay there, but if you
they're not
know
gonna know,
at
they're-
3 a.m.
They're not gonna
that
go.
this is happening, and it's like, it happens like so fast.
Is it a plain white wall?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, that's
Yeah,
something.
but Bonwell
It's like
Street.
a-
There's something else there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Backdrop.
The wall that I was referring to was a plain black wall. I asked them for trouble.
Well, yeah,
And also use
As long as it's
Yeah,
plain,
yeah.
they're gonna get it.
they're gonna get it. Yeah,
Make
but
the
you have to
special
put
light.
art there or something like that. Yeah.
Great to have cameras somewhere.
Well,
you
this,
know?
They still gonna do
this
it.
particular one has cameras, but,
Yeah, with a mask.
right, that's the thing. Everybody's wearing masks.
No, but just to know the time of,
Right,
time, the actual
when it's happening,
time
yeah.
that they do it.
Can we bring it up on general board?
You know, okay.
All right, is there anything else that we have? No? Okay, I just want to thank all the new members that came tonight. Thank you. We had a full house except for Miguel, who's been excused for family reasons. But thank you all for showing up in person. I really, really appreciate that.
Slip your hands up.
Oh, no, that was one of those, yes, for,
She's
yes.
laughing, yeah.
And welcome all the new members, not only to the board, but to the committee. I think we're gonna do a good job together. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions. My contact information is on the spreadsheet. You can always reach out to me. I will be available for you guys, okay? So thank you again.
And I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
And I might want to suggest sending out an email for everybody to send you their contact
I
information.
have their contact
Everyone's-
information and I send out an email before every meeting, letting them
I'm just saying with
know.
all the new people or whatever.
Yeah, they got
Okay.
it, they got it
Yeah.
email today. One thing that I do, and I did it for public safety, and I'm doing it now for economic
Because I do it
development,
too.
is I send an email out the day before or the morning of the meeting as a reminder that the meeting's here, with a link to the agenda so that they can read the information before they get here, so they're advised of what's gonna happen. So
You
I
need
do
not
that,
say
and you'll get
anymore.
that every meeting. Yeah.
On with education too.
Yeah.
Just a reminder.
Yeah, to me, that's, I think it's just easier for people. Okay,
Meeting adjourned.
just for the record, yes, all those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
No objections? Okay. So just for the record, the meeting started at 7:02. The time is now 8:05. Meeting has ended. Thank you, everyone who joined us on WebEx. I appreciate you. And hopefully
Thank you,
we'll
guys.
see everyone at the full board meeting Wednesday, 7
Not
o'clock.
Thursday, Wednesday.
Have a great night, everyone.
Wednesday, 7 o'clock at Einstein Moving Hall.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Night.
All right.